Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If not, that's totally fine. I hope you have a beautiful holiday season. I know we are coming up on Christmas. Again, if you celebrate Christmas, I posted a nice little happy holiday photo of Adam and I, my community tab. There's tons of really lovely comments there. So thanks for everybody that's being super sweet. I appreciate you. Today, I want to talk about the two mindset shifts that I feel are extremely important when it comes to succeeding in really any capacity, whether that is relationships or materializing career success, more money into your life, picking up a new skill, whatever it may be. These two things really, really helped me, especially in a academic setting and overcoming limitations and my ability to get good grades, get into my desired university. And through applying this, I actually took myself from a very, very low GPA. Okay. And I'm just gonna be really honest here. I wasn't the best student. Back in high school, I took some college classes, didn't do too good in them, and messed up my transcript for a little bit. But through applying what I'm going to talk about, I was able to take myself from a very low GPA to getting nearly straight A's up to a 3.7-ish GPA and into my dream university. I got priority registration. They were paying me to go to school. They hired me as a tutor. So not only was I studying, I was getting paid to study and help other people study as well too, right? So a lot of benefits that came out of this. So let's talk about it, okay? And again, this can be applied to anything, whether it's career, school, even relationships. Okay, so I want you to think about the things I'm talking about here. The first thing that I want to talk about, the first mindset shift that really helped me was really seeing that I'm deserving of being in the environment that I was in, normalizing the experience. Now, again, this can apply to multiple different things. From a schooling perspective or a career perspective, even a relationship perspective, you need to be able to normalize the experience and see yourself as somebody that is smart enough, that deserves to be there, that deserves a relationship, that deserves career success, that you're meant to be in this environment, that you can overcome challenges, that you are able to connect with the people around you, that people want to be around you, that they want to help you, that they want to see you succeed, that it is okay to make mistakes. You're going to learn from those mistakes and you're going to overcome and you're going to succeed. Okay. Now, actually, before we get into all these tips, I want to say one thing. In my content, I talk about two aspects to mindset. First, the identity, and then being able to hold a knowing on a particular outcome. And my approach, shifting my identity first and really looking at what I believe, my internal dialogue, how I'm operating, how I'm showing up. When those things got in alignment, meaning they were augmented towards the success that I desired to create, it was a lot easier for me to hold that knowing. So when I'm talking about these two tips, know that what I'm pointing towards is getting into a version of you that can then hold that knowing on a desired outcome, whether that be graduating, getting into a particular school, in a particular relationship, into a particular career, or making a particular amount of money. Okay. These are the mindset shifts that I went through first that then made it a lot easier for me to hold that knowing and also create those results and handle whatever challenges along the way that may have popped up in a way that didn't allow for me to feel intimidated, scared, or want to quit or give up. I was able to adjust myself very quickly and overcome things very proficiently. Okay, so again, back to the first tip though. We need to see ourselves as somebody that is deserving, that can normalize this experience, that we deserve to be in this environment, and also believe in our ability to overcome and be graceful with making mistakes and knowing that we're going to learn from what we are doing, right? Essentially, no longer identifying as a failure or I don't want to say loser, okay? But in all honesty, those are some of the thoughts that you may be having, right? Like telling yourself that you can't do something, or you're not smart enough, or that you're a loser, you're never going to be able to graduate, you're not going to be able to get a particular career. Okay. So the first component here is adjusting your mindset surrounding normalizing this experience and seeing yourself as good enough and deserving to be there. Okay. The other component to that as well, too, the second tip that I have, I actually already kind of touched on it, is being okay with making mistakes. Okay. Now, there's a learning process that occurs whenever you are getting a new job, whenever you're increasing your income, when you're in a relationship, there's growth, right? There's growth to every aspect of our life. And when you can normalize an experience and you can support yourself with good beliefs and your ability to overcome, to learn from mistakes, to see yourself as worthy and deserving, that you're going to be able to create the results that you desire, that you don't identify as a loser or as a failure or as a fuck up. Okay. And again, I'm saying that very kindly. I'm just being honest because these are ways in which we do talk to ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we're really, really hard on ourselves and we say really mean things to ourselves that we wouldn't say to other people necessarily. And we got to be honest about that so that we can begin to recognize it and change it and realize that if I see myself this way, then I'm really working at a disadvantage to myself. Okay. And so we need to change that. The other aspect to this here, number two, is being okay with making mistakes. And that's going to come from actually making those identity shifts within yourself and how you view yourself in this area of your life. Do not expect yourself to be perfect. In fact, before I was very proficient in mindset work, I had a belief like I suck at anything that I do when I first began, but then I get very good very quickly and I become a high performer. Now, this belief worked to my advantage in a few different ways. If I made mistakes, I no longer viewed them as evidence to my inability to succeed. I didn't get intimidated by them. It wasn't a hard blow to me. It wasn't something that I ran away from. And this is typically where people struggle a lot when it comes to the application of embodying a certain version of themselves and going through the learning process of acquiring a skill or building in their relationship or acquiring more money or going to the next step in their or the next level in their career. There's going to be a learning process. You're going to become a new version of you that has new understandings and operates in new ways and understands subjects or how to respond in more depth kind of ways of operating, right? There's just more depth to your level of understanding. When you don't identify with your mistakes and you become okay with them, then you can look at them critically and assess, what are you learning from it? So this just occurred. Okay, so for instance, if you're studying something and you realize, oh crap, this isn't the correct answer. Instead of just cheating and looking up the answer, okay, you're able to look at it and say, okay, what don't I understand here? Where did I go wrong in my understanding? I don't identify with my mistakes. Let me see what I'm learning from this. And because of that, you cut out a lot of anxiety, worry, doubt, fear, spiraling, running away from the things that you perceive as difficult, which allows you to optimize your time more proficiently and learn and overcome and achieve and actually create those results in a sustainable manner. So what am I saying here? You want to first look at how you're identified in this area of your life, and then be graceful and okay when you make mistakes. And instead of viewing mistakes as a part of your identity and as evidence to your inability to succeed or create the results that you desire, you're able to look at them from a more growth-focused perspective, which allows for you to learn from them, which allows for you to no longer create them, which allows for you to overcome them, which allows for you to create the results, the solutions, and materialize the answers and operate in a way that leads you to the results that you desire. Aside from that, okay, when you get those two things in alignment, okay, shifting in how you're identified and becoming okay with making mistakes and learning from them, it's very easy to then step in internally and persist in the knowing of whatever result it is that you want to materialize, because you're not getting thrown off anymore. You're not viewing everything working against you. You're more grounded in your ability to succeed, and you're able to handle challenges in a regulated way, which allows for you to learn from them, which is why you're also able to hold that inner knowing. I'm getting this grade, I'm making this amount of money, I'm getting this promotion, we're getting more loving in our relationship, right? Our communication's getting better, we're committed to one another, we're growing with one another. You're able to show up in a way consistently that allows for you to create those desired results. So when you find yourself beating yourself up, when you find yourself running away from things that you're perceiving as difficult, I want you to think about these 2 tips that I gave you here. And the last thing, actually, I have a bonus tip here, okay? The last thing that I want to talk about is why your beliefs are important as well, too. So for instance, okay, and again, this is across the board for anything. I'm just using school as an example. If you hold a belief like a particular subject is very difficult, like math. Math is very, very hard. I don't understand math, okay? This is how your beliefs drive your behaviors, okay? When you go to do a math problem, because you are in an identity that says this is difficult, you're going to make it very, very difficult for yourself to learn and achieve and get to the answers and the desired results that you want in this subject. For instance, you could be doing a math problem that has a solution that you can get to in 2 steps. But when you hold this type of belief, you're going to prove it true to yourself, which means the way you are perceiving the information and applying it and behaviorally going about creating the solutions in your reality, you will take 10 steps to get to that same exact answer. You're going to make it more difficult for yourself to prove it to yourself that it's hard, because in your understanding, the way you're perceiving the subject, you are misperceiving it and learning it in a more difficult way, which is why behaviorally you show up making it more difficult for yourself, which is why the identity aspect is so important. If you can get that in alignment, okay, maybe it might be difficult for you to jump straight to that belief. Math is easy for me. Okay, so take it in a stepwise fashion. I'm starting to believe that these subjects are getting easier for me. I'm starting to believe that it's becoming easier for me to be disciplined. I'm starting to believe that I am getting better and better at selling. I'm starting to believe that my communication in my relationships is getting better and better. Okay, you might need to take a growth approach to it. But what I'm saying is when you get those beliefs in alignment, the way in which you're perceiving, learning, showing up, the behaviors that you're materializing are going to be more proficient, which is also why you're able to succeed consistently, because you're not materializing fragmented focuses, misperceptions, misunderstandings, or making things more difficult than they need to be because your beliefs are driving those behaviors. Okay? So, what am I saying? You can achieve anything you set your mind to. You want to materialize a particular amount of money, you want a promotion, you want to create your own business, you want to improve in your relationships, you want to improve in your physical health, you want to achieve a particular body, you want to glow up in a particular area of your life. Well, my advice would be to first look at the identity you hold in that area of your life, and then also how you're identified in terms of, do you learn from mistakes or do you identify with mistakes? And once you get those 2 things in alignment, whether you take a growth approach to it or you go straight to those I am ways of identifying, it's a lot easier to hold that knowing. And then each day just becomes, okay, I'm embodying this version of me. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to graduate. I know that. I know that. And then you see yourself being more and more proficient in each class. You're organizing yourself better and better because your beliefs are driving you to do that. So it doesn't become this huge burden where every day you're feeling overwhelmed and like you're drowning. You start working with yourself. This is why your internal dialogue is so important, because if you tell yourself you're a fuck up, you can't do this, you're going to organize yourself in a way that stresses you the fuck out and makes it way more difficult than it needs to be. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. It's not fun. Okay. Same thing in relationships and career. Okay. You got to be very aware of who you're choosing to be, what you're choosing to believe. In order for things to change, you have to be the change, which starts in your mind. And think about what I just said there. if our beliefs are driving our behaviors, once you start shifting your beliefs, you're going to optimize what you're doing. If you think you have to work very, very hard to get the results that you desire, you're going to prove that true to yourself. But if you think or you believe, I'm able to learn things proficiently, quickly, I'm able to organize myself in the most efficient manner, I'm able to understand things easily, I'm able to conceptualize topics quickly, I'm able to bring about results in the most proficient manner, then yes, you're going to be showing up doing things, but the way in which you do it isn't going to feel hard anymore because you're working with yourself. You're not working against yourself. It doesn't have to be hard. That's a whole perception. That's a whole mindset. All right. So I hope you gained some knowledge from these tips that I got for you today. Also, realize the importance behind nervous system regulation. I'm not talking about that in this video. I have a whole playlist for emotional regulation on my channel, which goes into understanding your nervous system and how that plays a part and how you're showing up. But aside from that, I love you all so much. I hope you gained some knowledge from this. Thank you all for being here. Happy holidays, and I'll see you all later. Okay, bye.